Hello, everyone, and welcome to IDP Summer Camp, Episode 3. This is a Reader Digest Network presentation. It's also proudly supported and hosted by IDPguys.org. I'm your host, Oklahomie Doug, Rainer, excuse me, writer, ranker, podcast host, video manager for IDPguys.org. This is episode 3, the Cleveland Browns. Tonight, I got somebody very special on, one of the IDP GOATs. Everybody, he is a senior member of 444. He is a content producer, snap creator, my very good friend, my go-to source for all things Browns, the OG homie, my go-to waiver wire source back in the day, Mr. Mike Woellert. What's up, buddy? Glad to have you on.
What's going on, brother? Thanks for having me on. And this is the good week. We're heading into week 3 of the preseason, so a lot of things are hopefully gonna shake out. So, how are things going on your end?
Good, brother. Good, brother. Just got the move done. Sorry we couldn't meet up, yesterday and stuff. I thought I could just move over here, throw on the hotspot on the cellular phone, and jump on Skype, get some recording done, and be on my way. But with this country service, you don't ever know if somebody's going to cut a line with a lawnmower or somebody's going to hit a telephone pole drinking and driving. So things happen, and but here we are now, Mr. Woellert, and I couldn't be more thrilled, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, don't you love it when life says, "Hey, hold my beer"?
Right. Yeah. And it seems to happen to me all the damn time. Maybe it's because I'm always holding a beer. But not tonight. Not tonight. You get to see professional homie tonight. This is the new video series for Reader Digest Network on YouTube. This is kind of the debut reckoning to a bunch of things that I'm bringing to Reader Digest Network. And if you will, head over there, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you get them notifications. I just uploaded episode 2, and I just did it 20 minutes ago with Joey the Tooth. That's fire, folks. But for episode 3, I got one of the godfathers. Mike, honestly, I can say if I was making that Mount Rushmore up there with, Gary Davenport and, my Rushmore, it's got Woellert right up there. He's there.
I appreciate that.
He's already done. He's already been chiseled there next to Davenport. They've already got theirs chiseled. We're just working on the other ones. You know what I mean there, Woellert?
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Well, let's get right into the show.
All right.
I like to keep these about 30, 40 minutes.
Yep.
Little quick hitters that fans can go to on YouTube. Click it, watch it during lunch. Boom, you're done. Content in and out. Let's roll. All right, buddy. Cleveland Browns. First question I got for you, Mr. Mike Woellert. What was your draft grade for the Cleveland Browns 1 week after the draft? What was it, buddy?
From what I can remember, I thought I gave them a pretty solid B plus. I liked what they did. I liked where they addressed some speed. They addressed tackling with linebackers, and then they addressed that outside corner spot opposite Denzel Ward. So really, I liked what they did. There's a few question marks with at the offensive line, and I think they spent a draft pick on a kicker. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good, pretty good draft. I was pretty pleased at this point at the Browns. All the starters are done. So essentially at this point, they were really just drafting for depth. So I really like what they did. So I was pretty pleased.
Right. And as I said just a while ago, we just got done doing episode 2, San Francisco 49ers with Joey the Tooth and myself, Oklahomie Doug. And as you know, we took a punter in the 4th round. So we feel your pain there, Mr. Woellert. We feel your pain, brother. All right. And Mr. Woellert, what what would you give the grade now that you've had OTAs to look at? You've had a couple of preseason games. We know we're probably seeing starters and kind of the high level, high tier guys. We know we're probably seeing them sit game 3 and 4. What do you assess it as now, Mr. Woellert?
It's, I hate to bow out, or I hate to cop out, but at this point it's going to be an incomplete. I think with Greedy Williams, he looks to be the opposite, the starter opposite, but TJ Carey is really making things difficult for Greedy just to take that job. So, Taki's dealing with either a calf or a hamstring, so he's kind of been hampered there. Wilson kind of was brought back to earth a little bit in game 2. He had a little bit of a rougher go, didn't have as good of a game overall that he did against Washington. So I think with this class, I think it's really just going to be an incomplete. I'm not sure how, it really all depends on what the starters do in terms of the, these rookies getting on the field. But I think the future on the defense is going to be bright. But you know what? It is an incomplete. I still like the players, and I still like the direction where they're going. So, like I said, I think with week 3, some of those situations are going to be settled.
Cool. Totally hear that, man. Outside of the first 2 rounds of the Niners draft, I feel the exact same way, and I'm not even sure how I feel about Debo yet. Dropping a lot of. So I hear where you're at, man. It's kind of a double-sided sword question, but yeah. I like that, and see where everybody's at. So, all right, buddy, we'll go right into question number 2. Mm-hmm. What were your 3 main concerns heading into the offseason, and do you feel like any of them were addressed?
Well, in terms of concerns, if we're just talking overall concerns, I think I'm still concerned with the right side of the offensive line.
That right guard, right?
That right guard spot is a little troublesome.
It's been a carousel, right, buddy?
They traded away a top guard, and I'm still happy they made the trade for Vernon, but it's that right guard. In terms of but the safety spot, I think is still that's still a concern. I know they have Morgan Burnett, I know they have Whitehead, and I know they have your guy Redwine, but he's still he's a 5th, 6th round. He's still a 5th, 6th rounder.
Yeah,
he missed he's been missing tackles these first few preseason games. So Morgan Burnett has some injury concerns at safety. But those are my main concerns, and of course, I hate to say it, but kicker. There's going to be some games where, unfortunately, that kicker might cost us a game, and that's going to suck because this is a playoff-ready team, and it just stinks that a kicker could, be the difference between maybe us making the playoffs or not. But the Browns certainly have the offensive firepower to keep up with any offense, and that front 7, or at least the front 4, with Ogunjobi, with Sheldon Richardson, with Myles Garrett, Olivier Vernon, they're going to put pressure on the quarterback, and they're going to really, really stuff the run. And I think they're going to make things a little bit easier for Joe Schobert, and I think for Christian Kirksey to kind of cover up some of those warts in the linebacker crew. So my concerns are certainly overshadowed, or at least I'm definitely happy with where the offense is going to be.
Right. But that maybe them close games that y'all lost quite a few of here in recent or just last year. Maybe that's still a little bit of concern for you there, Mike. It's what it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah, and you got one of my favorites there in that kicking competition, Mr. Austin Seibert. Been really rooting for him, Oklahoma kid, Boomer Sooner there. So
he's I think they kept him off the field. Even though he's a draft pick, I don't things aren't good.
I usually search him every now and then. Today just so happens because we was going to go on air. I searched him again, and there was one tweet that said Austin Cyber off on his by himself
Mm-hmm.
on another field, just kicking by himself. And then there was like two tweets down from a guy that actually had a check mark, and it was like, no, he was actually kicked off the field. Like,
Yeah.
they told him, no, hey, go on. So, what's is it? Parkey? Is that Who was competing?
No, I think it's Greg Joseph.
Joseph. That's what I was
Yep.
trying. Joseph. Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of his job to lose right now, and I suggest, or they probably bring somebody else in just to make him keep working on his craft. So
Yeah, they may do some things after roster cuts, kind of see who gets cut, but we'll see.
Right, and I know we're probably putting people to sleep with this kicker talk, but hey,
let's bring it all back.
This team's pretty good, and that's close quarters. They lost a lot of them games, but here we go. All right, what defense does Cleveland Browns run, Mr. Mike? 3-4, 4-3?
No, they're going to run I guess you can consider their base, and if I had video, you'd see me putting a quote around a base 4-3.
I'll do it.
I think what they're going to do is more of a 4-2-5 look. So that's kind of what they've been doing in the preseason. They've got their 4 down linemen. They got 2 linebackers with 5 defensive backs. So that's where the 3 safeties will probably come in. And then, with only running 2 linebackers, that's certainly going to keep some of the rookies off the field. With just some of the things I've been reading over the last, day or two in terms of that linebacker roster battle at this point, if you're drafting today if you're drafting today or going forward, I think you can draft Joe Schobert and Christian Kirksey as your. I'd feel more comfortable with them as your second linebacker, maybe a third linebacker. But I think going into the season, I think those are going to be your 2 main linebackers. Like I said, I think Mac Wilson got brought down to earth. I mean, he's a roster lock. He's going to make the roster, but he's going to have to do something to really to overseat those. And Taki, he's bringing a good all-around game, but I think he's been dealing with a hamstring injury, so I think that really kind of hampered him in winning a potential starting job. So I think early in the season you probably won't see him much. I've been reading he might even be a weekly inactive during the regular season till he's fully healthy. So maybe redraft leagues, you're probably going to maybe want to keep him on your radar in terms of a waiver wire. But if you're drafting going forward, I think you can have a little bit more confidence in Joe Schobert and Christian Kirksey as your 2 linebackers.
Yeah, and that was kind of up in the air, going into this offseason. Schobert, and then isn't Kirksey always the guy to get hurt? Ain't he always getting banged up, and missing games? But,
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's injury prone, but yeah, he suffered a pretty bad injury last year. Schobert just deals with missed tackles, and he can be rough. So hopefully some of that talent up front can kind of shield that. But yeah, after week 1 of the preseason, man, we tend to overreact. You see Schobert's out, he gets that, he's out because of I think his wife was into labor, and you see Taki making some of these plays, and you're like, oh, that's it, that's done. Yeah. But we forget that they're still rookies, but yeah, he'll definitely be someone you're gonna want to at least put on a watch list for a waiver wire, just in case anything happens to Kirksey or Schobert. Definitely want to keep that ahead. I know we saw Sheldrick Redwine running with the 1s. But I think Whitehead was injured, and I think they just want to give him a little bit more work along with Burnett. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if they were running some more 4-2-5 as to battle some of these pass happy offenses.
Right. I can see that 100%, buddy. And just one of them fan favorites going into the draft, and you kind of forget about him, and then you see him pop up in camp, getting some work with the 1s. It's kind of how Redwine was for me, just safety that I liked, kind of highly ranked going into the draft. Didn't land in too great of a spot, especially after Burnett got signed. But, he gets a little love lately. I like the way he hits. You know, he might miss some tackles, but he carries a pop. I
Yep.
like that in my safeties. So,
Oh yeah,
you know,
definitely like that in my safeties.
right. But back to TJ Carey. Always been a personal favorite of mine, man,
Mm-hmm.
because it seems like he's always played opposite of the big dogs.
Yeah.
People that opposing quarterbacks have avoided the cornerback one, and it seems like TJ Carey's always over there on the other side. And man, he's a good cornerback. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, even if they catch it, he's right there a lot of the times, which equals a lot of tackles. You know, pass deflections.
Yeah, he's definitely going to make things. He's not going to make things easy for Greedy Williams just to come in as a second round pick to get that opposite role. He's going to be a nice depth player. Definitely brings a good veteran presence. He too has been dealing with a hamstring injury. I know he's finally back to health, so we'll kind of see what happens against Tampa. I know they'll have some opportunities to make some plays against what appears to be a pass-happy offense in Tampa tomorrow night. So we'll get to see. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty good IDP day with Cleveland and Tampa. Hopefully, get to see some Devin White. I don't know if Levante David is healthy. I don't know. We'll see him. I think they're just going to keep him out until the regular season. But you got Myles Garrett, and he's already looking like a beast. Olivier Vernon, Richardson. Denzel Ward, all those guys. So tomorrow night, definitely will be a good showcase.
Here's a name, and I'm just going to go off the IDP track just a little bit. There's like a Y in the road, but you take that left, but it comes back around. But anyway, here's a name a lot of people ain't heard of, and if one or two things happen right, this guy could be in line for a lot of work. And I think he is their replacement to Duke Johnson, Mike. I think you know where I'm going here, Mr. Dearness Johnson.
Yeah, he's been a Spitfire. Everybody talks about Dontrell Hilliard, and he's probably going to be the backup. But yeah, he's a Spitfire, and he's turning some heads, and he's making the most of his snaps. He's been fun to watch. This whole preseason has been fun to watch because even the 2s and the 3s. I mean, there's some depth on this team now, and it's going to be a fun season. So, it's good to see that you got your starters established, so you know who your starters are. So you don't have a quarterback battle, and you don't have a running back battle. You don't who are the wide receivers? Who's going to be the nickel? You don't have any of that. So it's really it's about time that we have a real football team assembled, so we can actually now compete. So yeah, just watching the 2s and the 3s. There's a little bit of depth. So, I mean, obviously the offensive line is always going to be scary because if someone goes down, that's I think where the real weak link is. But, they have some receivers, Rashard Higgins, as a third receiver. So, we'll, we got it.
There's actually position battles going on. That's kind of the problem that was going on in San Francisco. Everybody was just coming to work because they was the only option. Hey, you ain't gonna put me on the bench. You're gonna have to re-sign me. You ain't got no depth. You got you got to do this. You got to do that. Well, now the coaching in the front office has got the upper hand again in Cleveland, and people are having a fight for jobs. Bringing back that fire, baby.
And what's interesting is we'll see is Duke Johnson a good football player, or was he just a good football player on a bad team?
Yep. We sure will. Good point there, Mike. All right, buddy. How long we been going here, homie? About 28 minutes. Perfect time for. Let me get your most owned Brown IDPer and offensive guy real fast.
Oh, boy. I've got Nick Chubb is probably my most owned, right along with, I think, Higgins.
Yep.
It was funny. I know I'm going off tangent. I don't know if you followed my feed on Saturday. I did an auction draft with at the Kings Classic. Really fun time. Someone threw out Nick Chubb for $20, and I just dropped the mic and just went 50.
Oh,
and didn't get and that was it. And just I'm like, he was the guy I want. He was the guy I wanted, not the Cleveland homer. Just he's the guy I wanted. So you can tell right there. In terms of the Browns, I'd probably say at this point I've got a little bit of Sheldon Richardson and some Olivier Vernon. I love Myles Garrett. Go ahead.
Here's one little chance. I'm sorry to cut you off, but here's one little chance I like to throw in there for the listeners to go to thestickyboard.com, enter your MFL username, MFL password, and my homie Adam Sticky Z. He has designed this webpage that you just put in your MFL username, your MFL password. Boom. There's all your leagues. There's your most owned players. There's your latest transactions. I like to plug during this little segment of the show, but Sticky's a homie, man, and I always support stuff he does. So it's my little chance to plug his kick-ass site. It's bookmark on everything I got. Super useful. Thestickyboard.com.
That's a good call. I absolutely love Myles Garrett. I just haven't been able to pull the trigger on how early he's going. And you know what? He's going to be a monster. And he's going to be a monster. But I can't pull the trigger on early he's going. And I usually go linebacker is usually my first IDP. So it's not that I don't like Myles Garrett. Plus, I'm kind of trying to do a reverse jinx. I don't want to own a lot of Browns because I don't want them to be hurt. So that's also kind of a reason.
Same thing I did with Fred Warner. Same thing I did with Fred Warner last year, and he was like, boo, 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 boo. So, good call there. I like the fantasy gods thing. I do it myself there, Mike.
But yeah, Olivier Vernon I've got a few shares of, and Sheldon Richardson. So I'll be honest, I've kind of been avoiding the linebackers just because of some of the questions. But if I was in an IDP draft heading out, I'd probably target Kirksey first, Schobert second. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of but ownership. But yeah, I did. It was funny. I got a lot of reaction when I threw out Nick Chubb at $50. And you know what? John Paulson, our projection guru, God, Nostradamus, he had Nick Chubb valued at about 47. So in my opinion, I don't think I overpaid too much.
Nah. If Paulson said something was cool, it's cool with me.
Yep.
It's cool at the other side of the pillow. Ain't that right, Mike? What's up, Mr. Paulson? Enjoy your work, man. All right, Mike, the last question that I ask all of my campers, man. What's the 3 Browns that you want in your bunks, in your little camp bunks? You know how in summer camp, you got your homie, you got a top bunk and a bottom bunk, and then you usually share that little locker with that next bunk right to you. We got 3 Browns. Who you taking, buddy? It can be coaches, anything. Let's hear.
I mean, well, first, how do you not go with Baker and Odell?
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. How do you not go with Baker and Odell?
You can get away with so much shit because they be getting in trouble all the damn time.
And it doesn't matter because they're the franchise. So you hang out with them.
We're at camp because of them.
Exactly. And I think probably my third is Myles Garrett, because who's gonna mess with me if I've got that guy next to me? Nobody. Nobody is messing with me when I got the monster standing beside me.
Yeah. I think for sure you're winning the talent show with Odell and Baker. Them two creative minds. For sure. I think for sure. But all right, Mr. Mike. Hey man, this has been a blast, man. I'm gonna give you the floor here to plug your rankings. I seen that they were pinned on your Twitter. I want you to give them your official Twitter handle because I will mess the shit of it. I'll mess it all up. So you give them that, buddy. You give them where to find you. Just go ahead, man. Floor is yours for a little bit. Go ahead.
Appreciate it, man. Follow me on Twitter at Mike_Woellert, WOELLERT. Everything is at 4for4.com. It's that time of year. I'm updating rankings on the daily. My three down linebacker article is live. That is being updated. Probably will have a kind of a stock up, stock down after week 3 going up. So check me out, 4for4, our rankings, where you can find my 3 down linebackers. If you aren't subscribed, there is time to rectify that and to win some money. So if you do sign up, use Mike10, get 10% off, and go dominate. It's like having all 6 Infinity Stones in your draft, man.
Hell yeah. And you can use that. What was that promo code again? That's for
Mike10
subscription, right,
yep.
Mike?
Use Mike10.
Mike10. Okay.
Yep.
So whenever you go there, use that promo code. It helps out Mike. Lets the people know kind of Mike's traffic. Helps him out a lot, man. So use that promo code. Anybody that follows me, you got to be following Mike, because this guy helped me have my creative glands, helped me dig down and just do what made me happy, because this guy helped me from the jump. He was one of the nice guys, and Mike will always be one of the nice guys. And I can't thank you enough for being on here, buddy. Supporting everything I've done. You've been a hell of a friend, brother, and I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. Yep. It's it's anything that I can do to help the next wave of IDPers. So, I had help bringing up, so now it's time to help some of the other people come up. So I appreciate the comments.
I'm so bad at freaking keeping secrets, man. But this one it's eating me alive, Mike. It's eating me alive, brother. I want to let it go so bad, but there's some kind of minute things that upper management people got to take care of before this old crazy redneck can go spewing off. So, but there's big things coming. There's big things coming. You definitely want to get in on that 4for4 subscription. Get in on Mike's articles. Get in on them tasty nuggets, because the IDP world's fixing to blow up, people. I'm telling you right now. I want to say so much more. I know there's people that are going to hear this and are going to be like, God, will he just end the episode? He's going to give it away. Big things are coming, Mike. And man, I couldn't thank you more for being on, man. So
absolutely. Anytime, man. Anytime. Always enjoy being on with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
You know it, buddy. So for IDP Summer Camp, Episode 3, Cleveland Browns, with the OG vet, my Mount Rushmore, Mr. Mike Woellert. This is Oklahomie Doug, now the only IDP video podcast where you see sunglasses being worn. We're out. Peace.